Ron Siegel Radio, your home and mortgage connection.
You're listening to Ron Siegel's Home and Finance Show with local and national expert Ron Siegel. Now, here's Ron.
And hello again. Welcome to Ron Siegel Radio. This is the show with no real boundaries as we discuss current events, financial markets, politics, sports, even poking fun at the rest of the media. This is the show that connects the dots of confusion delivered by conflicting media reports. We connect the dots so you know the actions you can take, how your family or business can benefit in current events. Most of all, thank you for joining me. Within every market, there are solutions as well as tremendous opportunities. You just need some trusted guidance. That is my message, and I will be delivering it every day. We have a very focused show. We only chat about items that affect the roof over your head, your bank account, and anything I feel would benefit you. And then remind you, if you ever have any home or finance-related questions, I am the consumer advocate looking out for you. And you can reach out to me directly, 800-306-1990, 800-306-1990, or RonSiegelRadio.com. Just remember, that's the number you call anytime for assistance. When you call that number, it comes directly to me first. There are operators standing by.
Quiet, numbskulls, I'm broadcasting.
While I do have a great team when it comes to developing a financing plan, a plan to save you money, I personally work with you. Even if you don't have any needs today, save this number in your phone for future reference. 800-306-1990, 800-306-1990. 1990. And yes, of course, we are celebrating today. We celebrate every day on Ron Siegel Radio. Okay. I'm glad that Josh was looking out for me here today, because today is National Senior Health and Fitness Day.
It is what it is.
I'm not that old yet, but I do, we do a little bit of resistance training as part of our wellness journey. If you haven't followed that, rsrlinks.com/shot, rsrlinks.com/shot. And I've also now published several white papers on some of the shots. rsrlinks.com/aminopep, rsrlinks.com/aminopep. You can see some of the white papers that we've put out on these. Let's move. National Flip-Flop Day. Now, no, we're not talking about politicians. If you're in Southern California right now, Josh, are you done with your primaries over there in Nevada? Or are they coming up? I mean, they're coming up. Okay, so you're still dealing with all this garbage that we are. It's amazing. You go every 4 or 5 minutes, you get a whole series of commercials on all of these different politicians smearing one another. It's enough to drive you nuts. I mean, I'll be glad. I think the election is on the 2nd of June here in Southern California, or all of California. Be glad to see it over with. Holy cow. So, but that's not the flip-flop we're talking about here. Flip-flops like in the sandals. So, National Flip-Flop Day. Now, having beaten anorexia, we've got a couple of different things here that we're looking at as well. And I'm looking at it's National Grape Day. So we go through a lot of green grapes here in our house. National Grape Day. And it's National Grape Popsicle Day. Now I look at these two and I say, we've got a theme going here. What happened to the wine? So we got all these, you got the grapes going out. You got the grape popsicles going out. Sounds like you're just wasting grapes that could be put into some really good wine. Although I know, don't send me the messages. I know it's a different kind of grape, so don't send me messages. I already know it. Grape Day and Grape Popsicle Day. Okay, let's see what the markets are doing. They've turned around a little bit. Had a lot of green early in the day. I'll take a look and see why we're seeing some of these numbers, but the Dow Jones Industrial Average is up 151 points. The NASDAQ is up 79. S&P 500, I'm sorry, the NASDAQ is down 79. S&P 500 is down 13. Oil down $3.52 a barrel. Yahoo! Yeah, I know that's good news, but it was down further earlier. Do we want to look and see what these numbers mean here to all of us? Yeah, we're in Cavins, California. He's been here for 25 years. He's been in elected office here in California, something like that. way too long. But national average gallon of gasoline, $4.46 a gallon. Gavin's price, $6.09 a gallon. $6.09 is Gavin's price. And you got to love it because he says, well, it's Chevron doesn't, charges more money in California. Is gouging. Well, do you think they like other states better than us? Because there are $2 or $3 a gallon cheaper in other states where they don't have to deal with California regulation, Gavin. So think about some of these different numbers, and maybe if we can get Gavin to get on board with anything to do with helping the people of California. Yeah, and I know, you know better than that.
You know better than that.
Yeah, we're not going to get that from Gavin. Watching all of these different numbers, it's a challenge when you've got Gavin that's got these things going on. Now, I did have a problem yesterday, and I'm going to share it with you. I watch the politics. I watch what's going on. I watch the markets, and I'm looking and I'm seeing, I've never or very rarely do I agree with any of the policies of Gavin Newsom. And then I see some commercials that he's against this wealth tax because it's one of the dumbest things I've ever heard of. But generally the dumb things are what Gavin's all for. So you got to wonder at some point, why is it that Gavin is for it when it's so darn stupid? It just drives me bananas. I have to go do the research now and find out what am I missing if Gavin is against it and I thought it was bad. You got to wonder what's hidden in there. I mean, most things that are bad, again, Gavin likes the bad stuff. Looking at the 10-year treasury, it's flat. It was better off earlier in the day. And the mortgage bond now up 8 basis points, bonds up, rates down. Now, I did look and see, we've got the ADP Employment Weekly report, 35,000 new jobs created for the 4-week average. That's down a bit from where it was. Still strong number. Strong numbers generally sound good, but in this case, the strong numbers are going to basically mean that there's not a lot of reason for the Federal Reserve to cut interest rates. So watching all of this for you, you are listening to Ron Siegel Radio, discussing your real estate, current events, and the financial markets. When we come back, I got a workshop for you today. How one homeowner went from 2 price drops to sold above asking. How does that work? And it's a whole theme that we're going to be rolling out in the next 6 weeks. For those of you that have not been able to get your house sold and you want to, we've got this theme going. I'm going to share with you how we can make that happen. Every day your home sits on the market, you're paying to lose money. Paying to lose money? Why? What most veterans don't know about their VA home loan benefit. The truth about affordability today, the real target of your teen's scam isn't your teen. Most parents never see it. All that and more. Reach me anytime. Off-air number, 800-306-1990, 800-306-1990, or RonSiegelRadio.com, Facebook.com/Ron Siegel Radio. And if you miss any part of our broadcast, Ron Siegel 1 on YouTube, Ron Siegel, the number 1 on YouTube. Stay tuned. We'll be back in just a few.
Ron Siegel Radio. Your home and mortgage connection.
Are you a veteran, own a home, and need money? The Siegel Lending Team is here to help veterans refinance and get the money they need. The VA 100 lets you borrow up to 100% of your home's value, refinance your mortgages, consolidate credit cards, and lower your payments by an average of $700 a month. And the Siegel Lending Team knows that character means more than a credit score. Call 800-306-1990. That's 800-306-1990. Rates subject to change without notice. Licensed by the California Department of Corporations, NMLS 21037, and DRE number 018694452. You're listening to Ron Siegel's Home and Finance Show with local and national expert Ron Siegel. Now, here's Ron.
Welcome back to Ron Siegel Radio. Within every market, there are solutions as well as tremendous opportunities. You just need some trusted guidance. That is my message, and I will be delivering it every day on Ron Siegel Radio. Or anytime at 800-306-1990, 800-306-1990. The Mortgage Minute today being brought to you by rsrloans.com, rsrloans.com. And every day at this time, OBMMI. They provide the most comprehensive, accurate, timely, and interactive analysis of pricing ever conducted in the mortgage industry, calculated from actual locked rates with consumers across 35% of all mortgage transactions nationwide. They do not tell us points paid, points received, or the APR. They tell us the number you put in your mortgage calculator to determine your principal and interest payment. If you don't have a mortgage calculator, it's in our Illustrator suite. No, not for drawing. It's for your financial health. rsrlinks.com/calculators. rsrlinks.com/calculators. What did rates do yesterday? Wow, I like all those red down arrows, Josh. That looks good. Conventional 30-year fix, 6.472. Jumbo 30-year fix, 6.588. FHA 30-year fix, 6.24. VA 30-year fixed, 6.104. USDA 30-year fix, 6.154. Every one of those were down. We like seeing down arrows when we look at the rates. Thoughts about the market? rsrlinks.com/HBOD. rsrlinks.com/HBOD. That's where we post our thoughts about the market each and every business day. So what are the markets doing today? Well, S&P 500 is now down 5.78. Oil down $3.63 a barrel. Gold down $70 an ounce. 10-year Treasury down a half a basis point. No real move there. And the mortgage bond is up 8 basis points. Remember, bond up, rates down. It's math, not opinion. What's driving all of this? Well, oil prices. That's the key thing right there. A potential U.S.-Iran peace deal. Oil prices have gone below 90 a barrel. They're back up above it again a little bit. Headline catching the market's attention is that if a deal is reached, Iran says it would restore traffic in the Strait of Hormuz to pre-war levels within 30 days. I wonder why it takes them so long. It's just because they're delaying everything. Playing us. Iran state media has released preliminary details of the memorandum of understanding with the U.S. According to those reports, here are some of the key details. U.S. would withdraw from a vicinity of Iran. U.S. Navy will lift the blockade. Iran would restore flow through the strait to pre-war levels within 30 days. Management and routing of traffic handled by Iran in cooperation with Oman. And if the final deal reached within 60 days, agreement would be approved in form of a binding UN Security Council resolution. One key point in there is no mention of the enriched uranium, contrary to President Trump's recent Truth Social posts, which could remain a sticking point. It will be interesting to see if an initial framework is put together and the nuclear conversations happen in the next 60 days following, or if this is a point of contention that takes the framework off the table. For now, markets acting as if they believe there is a good chance of a deal. Tomorrow, the Fed's favorite measure of inflation, PCE, will be released. The market is expecting the headline inflation to rise from 3.5% to 3.8% year over year. Core reading, which strips out food and energy prices, is expected to rise from 3.2 to 3.3. And I got to believe those figures are going to come in a tenth hotter, especially when considering the shelter anomaly that impacted the CPI report. During the government shutdown, they were unable to collect data for shelter, so they carried the previous readings forward, showing no change. That caused CPI shelter readings to be temporarily inflated in the previous April report. Same thing is likely to happen in tomorrow's PCE report, but it will have less impact because of the smaller weighting. Still, think it's enough to cause both headline and core to come in a bit hotter than market expectations. The market is expecting these figures to rise. And so long as there are not negative reports on the U.S.-Iran peace talks, kind of think the market may look past tomorrow's PCE report. After all, most of the inflation is coming from oil and the strait being closed. So if there's belief that it will be opened and back to pre-war traffic within 30 days of the deal, the market may look forward. ADP released their weekly employment report for the week ending May 9th, showing that on average, there were 36,000 jobs created per week over the previous 4 weeks. This portends to roughly 154,000 jobs in a full month. The weekly readings have been consistently stronger, and at least according to ADP, are showing that the labor market has bottomed out and is starting to accelerate. That is the Mortgage Minute, brought to you by rsrloans.com, rsrloans.com. So let's take a look. We're going to go a little bit out of order here, Josh, just because I can. So, real-time real estate segment. Real-time real estate segment brought to you by rsrmoney.com, rsrmoney.com. Here's a number that might sting if you're getting ready to sell your home. Listings that sit on the market longer than 120 days sell for almost $36,000 less than ones that move in the first 2 weeks. Same house, same neighborhood, same kitchen counters, just different calendar. I am Ron Siegel, Certified Liability Advisor, helping families build wealth through strategic debt management. The data comes from the National Association of Realtors, and the numbers are eye-opening. Take a home listed at $400,000. If it sells in the first 14 days, the average sale price, $380,400. If that same home is still sitting after 120 days, the average sale price drops to $344,800. That is $35,600 in lost value, almost 9% of the asking price. Ow! Gone. Not because the house got worse, not because the neighborhood changed, just because the calendar kept turning. Let me walk you through the numbers. 0 to 14 days, $380,400. 15 to 30 days, $375,600. 31 to 60 days, $370,800. 61 to 90 days, $364,000. 91 to 120 days, $357,600. And over 120 days, $344,800. The number goes down every step of the way, every single bucket. So what's happening here? Why does time hurt? 3 things. First, buyers and their agents are watching days on market. When a listing is fresh, it gets foot traffic. People show up curious. After 30 days, the same buyers who skipped it now wonder if something is wrong with it. After 60 days, they assume there is. After 120 days, they're not even looking, they're negotiating. Second, the people writing offers on a stale listing already know they have the upper hand. They're not asking, what is the home worth? They're asking, how much can I get off? That is a completely different conversation. It almost never ends in the seller's favor. Third, the cost of sitting is not just the price drop. It is carrying costs, mortgage payments, taxes, insurance, utilities, lawn care, all of it. Every month you sit, you pay to lose money. I know if you're a seller, that's hard to hear. So let me tell you the good news. None of this is bad luck. It is pricing and exposure problem. And it is solvable on day one. If you're thinking about selling in the next 6 to 12 months, the first 14 days on the market are not just important. They are the whole game. The price you set, the photos, the staging, the exposure, the timing of when you go live, all of it has to be locked in before the first showing. You do not get a second first impression, and you do not get back the $35,600. Generic case study for you. I worked with a couple in California. They're planning to list at $1.3 million, pretty normal price. Their original plan was to test the market at 1.4 and come down if we need to. I introduced them to one of my realtor partners who runs a true pricing strategy. They listed at the right number day one, had 14 showings the first weekend, and had accepted an offer at $1.385 million within 9 days. The neighbor across the street, same square footage, listed 2 weeks later at 1.45. 6 months later, they took 1.27. That's $115,000 in lost value. Strategy beats rate always. There's also a quieter cost most sellers do not think about. When a home in your neighborhood sits for 120 days and then sells low, it becomes a comparable sale. Your house, your appraisal, your next door neighbor's refinance, all of it can be affected by that one stale listing. Time on market does not just hurt the seller, it pulls the whole street with it. Now, I'm a lender, not a listing agent, but I work with realtor partners who treat the first 14 days like a launch, not a guess. And I'll gladly connect you to one. I'll also share the same playbook my partners use to map out exposure and pricing strategy before a single photo goes up. Inside that playbook are 3 different strategies to maximize both the sale price and the speed at which your home sells. Go to rsrlinks.com/salesmax. That's rsrlinks.com/salesmax. When you get there, you'll see the different strategies designed to maximize your sales price and the speed of your sale. It's the same approach used by the listing agents I refer business to. The same approach that keeps homes from sitting and bleeding value. Strategy beats rate always. And in this case, strategy beats time. I am Ron Siegel, your certified liability advisor, helping families build wealth through strategic debt management. Thanks for listening to the Real-Time Real Estate segment brought to you by rsrmoney.com, rsrmoney.com. You are listening to Ron Siegel Radio, discussing your real estate, current events, and the financial markets. When we come back, a workshop, how one homeowner went from 2 price drops to sold above asking, and the truth about affordability today. All that and more. Reach me anytime. Off-air number 800-306-1990, 800-306-1990, or RonSiegelRadio.com, Facebook.com/Ron Siegel Radio. And if you missed any part of our broadcast, Ron Siegel 1 on YouTube, Ron Siegel, the numero 1 on YouTube. Stay tuned. We'll be back in just a few.
Ron Siegel Radio. Your home and mortgage connection.
Are you a veteran, own a home, and need money? The Siegel Lending Team is here to help veterans refinance and get the money they need. The VA 100 lets you borrow up to 100% of your home's value, refinance your mortgages, consolidate credit cards, and lower your payments by an average of $700 a month. And the Siegel Lending Team knows that character means more than a credit score. Call 800-306-1990. That's 800-306-1990. Rate subject to change without notice. Licensed by the California Department of Corporations, NMLS 21037, and DRE number 018694452.
You're listening to Ron Siegel's Home and Finance Show with local and national expert Ron Siegel. Now, here's Ron.
Welcome back to Ron Siegel Radio. Within every market, there are solutions, as well as tremendous opportunities. You just need some trusted guidance. That is my message, and I will be delivering it every day on Ron Siegel Radio or anytime at 800-306-1990, 800-306-1990. A workshop for you today. Mortgage 101, brought to you by rsrloans.com, rsrloans.com. Your house went on the market. The sign went up. You told your neighbors. You told your kids' school. You told your boss you were moving, and then nothing. The listing expired. The sign is gone, and now everyone keeps asking what happened. If that's where you are right now, I want you to hear this. The problem wasn't your house. It was the strategy. I am Ron Siegel, Certified Liability Advisor, helping families build wealth through strategic debt management. Today on Ron Siegel Radio, we're having a different kind of conversation. This one is for the homeowner who tried to sell, didn't sell, is sitting there wondering what to do next. Let me start with a number that should change how you think about this. According to data from RedX, 54% of homeowners who relisted with a different agent ended up selling. Only 36% who relisted with the same agent got the deal done. Same house, same neighborhood, same buyer pool. The only thing that changed was the strategy and the person executing it. And the outcome went from a coin flip to better than 1 in 2. 54% versus 36%. Let me say it again, because this is the whole point of today's workshop. 54% versus 36%. That's the gap between a fresh plan and the same plan that just didn't work the first time. Now, I am not a realtor. I am a lender. I do not list your house. I do not run the open houses, and I do not negotiate with buyers. But here's why I'm talking about this today. The number one reason homes do not sell is pricing strategy, and the number 2 reason is exposure. Both of those things directly affect your financial picture. They affect the equity you walk away with, the mortgage you can carry on the next house, and whether the move you're trying to make actually pencils out. So let's talk about why homes don't sell. There are really only 4 reasons, just 4. Reason 1, it was priced too high. We have a saying in this business: if the price isn't compelling, it's not selling. With inventory up over 30% from last year, buyers have options. And when buyers have options, they walk past anything that feels overpriced. They don't make a lower offer. They just keep scrolling. Reason 2, it didn't show well. You only get one first impression. Old photos, clutter, a tired front door, a yard that hasn't been touched in a month. Buyers form an opinion in the first 7 seconds of looking at the listing online. If they swipe left, you never even got a chance. Reason 3, it didn't get the right exposure. Generic flyers and a few iPhone photos posted to one website are not a marketing plan. Today's best agents are using targeted digital marketing, video content, social campaigns, and buyer database matching. If your home wasn't put in front of the right buyers, of course it didn't sell. And that includes our streaming TV services. Reason 4, it was too hard to tour. If a buyer has to schedule 3 days in advance, work around 4 different family members, and can only come on Tuesday between 2 and 4, that buyer goes and writes an offer on the home down the street. If you can't show it, you can't sell it. So what does this mean for you? It means before you relist, before you fire your agent, before you give up and pull the house off the market, you need to know which of those 4 things actually went wrong. Because the fix for pricing is completely different than the fix for exposure. And the fix for showing is completely different than the fix for marketing. And here's where most homeowners get this wrong. They take the house off the market for 60 days. They relax. They tell themselves the market is bad, and then they put it right back on at the same price with the same agent using the same plan. And surprise, surprise, surprise.
Surprise, surprise, surprise.
The same thing happens. Here's what a typical situation looks like. California homeowner listed 1.3 million, 89 days on market, 2 price drops, no offers that stick. Listing expires. They're ready to walk away from the move entirely. Then they get a real home value report, not a Zillow guess, not a printout from a friend, a comprehensive report that pulls actual sold comps, days on market for similar homes, price per square foot trends, and absorption rates for their specific zip code. That report shows they were $40,000 over the comparable sold prices, and their exposure plan was reaching only a fraction of the qualified buyers in their zip code. 2 specific problems, 2 specific fixes. They relist at 1.26 million with a fresh pricing strategy, a meta ad campaign that puts their home in front of thousands of targeted buyers in the first 10 days, and a payment assistance plan that helps more buyers qualify for the payment. Sold in 31 days above the asking price. Same house, different strategy, totally different outcome. Here's the other number you need to hear. According to RedX, when a homeowner relists with the same agent, the average time to sell is 89 days. When they relist with a different agent and a new strategy, that drops to 74 days. That's 15 days faster in a moving family's life. 15 days is the difference between starting the school year in the new house or not. 15 days is the difference between closing on the next home before rates move or not. Strategy beats rate always. And in this case, strategy also beats stress. Strategy beats the awkward conversations with the neighbors. Strategy beats explaining to your in-laws for the 3rd time why you're still in the same house. So here's what I want you to do. 2 tools I want to put in your hands today, and they work together. Brand new. One of them is brand new. We've never even talked about it on Ron Siegel Radio before. This is the Home Value Report. Go to rsrlinks.com/home report. rsrlinks.com/home report. Anyone can run this. You can run it. Your realtor can run it. It gives you a comprehensive look at what your home is actually worth in today's market based on real data, not a guess. That's the foundation. You cannot fix a pricing problem if you don't know what the right price was supposed to be. The second one is the Sales Max presentation. Go to rsrlinks.com/salesmax. That's rsrlinks.com/salesmax. This is the full strategy session my realtor partners use to maximize your sales price and do it quickly. It walks through 3 things. 1, the pricing strategy that gets buyers off the fence instead of scrolling past. 2, the exposure plan that gets your home in front of 25,000 targeted buyers in the first 10 days using meta ads, not random scrollers. Targeted buyers in your market. And 3, a payment assistance strategy that helps more buyers qualify to write you an offer. This is a permanent life of the loan buy down on the buyer's mortgage. It lowers their payment for the entire life of the loan. When more buyers can afford the payment, you get more offers. More offers means a better sale price. That's how strategy turns into dollars. So once more, get the real number at rsrlinks.com/home report. That's rsrlinks.com/home report. Get the real plan at rsrlinks.com/salesmax. It's rsrlinks.com/salesmax. And while you're doing that, I'm happy to look at the mortgage side because once your home sells, the financing on the next one matters. Your blended interest rate matters. The structure of your equity matters. The way you carry liquidity into the next purchase matters. That is my job as a certified liability advisor. The realtor's job is to sell your house. My job is to make sure the money side of your move actually builds wealth instead of quietly costing you. You deserve better odds than 36%. Get the data, get the strategy, get a fresh perspective. Same house, different strategy, better outcome. I am Ron Siegel, your certified liability advisor, helping families build wealth through strategic debt management. Thanks for listening to this workshop, Mortgage 101, brought to you by rsrloans.com, rsrloans.com. You are listening to Ron Siegel Radio, discussing your real estate, current events, and the financial markets. When we come back, the real target of your teen scam isn't your teen. Most parents never see it. And the truth about affordability today, all that and more. Reach me anytime. Off-air number, 800-306-1990, 800-306-1990, or RonSiegelRadio.com. Facebook.com/Ron Siegel Radio. And if you miss any part of our broadcast, Ron Siegel 1 on YouTube, Ron Siegel, the numeral 1 on YouTube. Stay tuned. We'll be back in just a few.
Ron Siegel Radio. Your home and mortgage connection.
Are you a veteran, own a home, and need money? The Siegel Lending Team is here to help veterans refinance and get the money they need. The VA 100 lets you borrow up to 100% of your home's value, refinance your mortgages, consolidate credit cards, and lower your payments by an average of $700 a month. And the Siegel Lending Team knows that character means more than a credit score. Call 800-306-1990. That's 800-306-1990. Rate subject to change without notice. Licensed by the California Department of Corporations, NMLS 21037, and DRE number 018694452.
You're listening to Ron Siegel's Home and Finance Show with local and national expert Ron Siegel. Now, here's Ron.
Welcome back to Ron Siegel Radio. Within every market, there are solutions as well as tremendous opportunities. You just need some trusted guidance. That is my message, and I will be delivering it every day on Ron Siegel Radio or anytime at 800-306-1990, 800-306-1990. Your Credit Matters segment today being brought to you by rsrlinks.com/debt-free, rsrlinks.com/debt-free. A 14-year-old gets a message on Snapchat. Hey, I'll PayPal you $200 if you let me move some money through your Cash App. Sounds harmless. Sounds like easy money. It is neither. I am Ron Siegel, Certified Liability Advisor, helping families build wealth through strategic debt management. Today, we are talking about something that does not always make it onto a mortgage advisor's microphone, but absolutely should. Fraud against your kids, fraud against your teens, and how a 5-minute conversation around the dinner table can protect your family's wealth for the next 30 years. Here's the part most parents miss. Scammers do not always want your teenager's money. A lot of the time, they want access to your teen's phone, access to your teen's social accounts, and through that side door, access to you, your bank login, your credit card, your social security number, the same one that is on your mortgage file. That's why this matters at a strategic debt management level. A clean credit profile is one of the most valuable assets your household owns. It is the asset that decides whether you can buy the next home, refinance the current one, help your kid get into a first apartment, or co-sign a student loan without paying a penalty rate. One stolen identity inside your household can put all of that on ice for 12 to 18 months. So let's talk about where the attacks are actually coming from. For kids and tweens, fraud usually shows up inside video games, free V-Bucks, free Robux, a rare skin if you just type in mom's email and a credit card, or a fake giveaway from a YouTuber they trust. The hook is excitement and the close is urgency. Click now or lose it. For teens, it gets more sophisticated. Quote unquote easy money pitches on Snapchat, Discord, WhatsApp, and Kick. Someone offers to send them a check, ask them to deposit at the ATM, and keep a cut. That is not a side hustle. That is check fraud. And the teen's name is the one on it. Other teens get pulled into moving money through Cash App or Venmo for a friend. Same trap, different app. And for college-bound teens, the scam wears a graduation cap, fake scholarship offers, fake financial aid emails. 2 rules to lock in right now. Legitimate scholarships do not charge an application fee, and FAFSA is always free. If a website is asking your senior for a credit card to submit the FAFSA, close the tab. So what does this mean for you, the parent? Picture this household. 2 working professionals, about $650,000 in mortgage balance, about 770 credit scores, plenty of equity. Their 16-year-old gets tricked into giving up personal information through a fake job application site. Within 6 weeks, 2 credit cards are opened in the mom's name, not the teen's, mom's, because the teen had stored mom's info on a family password manager. Now imagine they were 90 days from listing their home and buying the next one. The fraud freeze, the disputes, the police report, all of it can add 4 months to their timeline. The home they wanted sells to someone else. The interest rate they had locked expires. Strategy beats rate always. But strategy always depends on a clean credit file, and that file lives or dies based on how protected the whole household is. So here's the conversation I want every parent listening to have this week. It is short, it is not formal, it is 4 sentences. 1, if anyone online ever asks you to move money, pause and tell me first. 2, urgency is a warning sign. If someone says right now or today only, that's the moment to slow down. 3, we do not keep money problems a secret in this family. Bring it to me early is never the wrong move. 4, for scholarships, FAFSA, or anything college money related, we look at it together. That's it. That's the conversation. You're not lecturing. You're not scaring them. You're giving them permission to ask for help before the damage is done. Now, what do you do if it already happened? 3 steps. First, change passwords on every shared account, banking, email, investment, mortgage servicer. Second, place a fraud alert with the 3 credit bureaus. It's free and it lasts a year. Third, pull the credit report for every adult in the household and for the teen. Yes, teens can have credit reports too. If a credit file exists for a 14-year-old who has never had a job, that is a red flag. To pull a real FICO score and see what's sitting on your file, go to rsrlinks.com/FICO. rsrlinks.com/FICO. Do it for yourself, do it for your spouse, and ask the credit bureaus about your minor's file too. And then to keep watching that file go forward, I offer a tool at no cost called Key Steps. Go to rsrlinks.com/keysteps. Key Steps gives you credit monitoring, a budget framework, and a place to track your household's assets in one spot. So you are not just reacting to fraud, you are watching for it. Key Steps is one of the simplest ways to keep your family's financial future protected without adding another bill. 2 things to do this week. First, go to rsrlinks.com/FICO to pull a current score, rsrlinks.com/FICO, and rsrlinks.com/keysteps. That's rsrlinks.com/keysteps to set up ongoing monitoring and budgeting for your household. Again, rsrlinks.com/FICO and rsrlinks.com/keysteps. Second, if you want to walk through the bigger picture, how fraud, risk, credit, and your mortgage strategy fit together for your specific household, book a 15-minute Zoom with me at bookrs15.com, bookrs15.com. Bring your questions, bring your spouse. We'll look at your household balance sheet and build a real plan. I am Ron Siegel, your certified liability advisor, helping families build wealth through strategic debt management. Thanks for listening to Your Credit Matters segment, brought to you by rsrlinks.com/debt-free, rsrlinks.com/debt-free. Real-time real estate segment today being brought to you by rsrmoney.com, rsrmoney.com. The truth about affordability today. Let's be real with each other for a second about affordability, because you deserve someone who will be honest and transparent about what's going on, especially if you've got a move on your mind. Here's the full picture of what's happening and why, the good and the bad, so you know what it truly means for your move, because while rates are certainly a big part of affordability, they're not the only factor at play. After a year or more of rates trending down, they've started to climb again. And if you're looking to buy, that's not what you want to see, but it has happened, and here's why. With lingering global uncertainty, ongoing tensions in the Middle East, and inflation refusing to fully cool off, there's a lot that's having an effect on rates. Colin Robertson, founder of The Truth About Mortgage, put it plainly. You can't have a $100 barrel of oil and not expect inflation to rise, which translates to higher bond yields and mortgage rates. Take a look at the graph that we've got on the screen right now. If you're watching us on ronsiegelradio.tv, any of our socials, or the ABC News and Talk AM 1490 and FM 98.1 video feed. It uses data from Mortgage News Daily to show just how much all those factors have had an impact. And you can see that chart, recent volatility in mortgage rates. Yeah, we like that green arrow going down, but we've got the red arrow going up. Pretty sharp contrast from where we've been in a relatively short window. And it's probably making you wonder, should I just wait this out? Will rates fall when the uncertainty eases? It's possible, but it all depends on how the ongoing geopolitical conflict plays out and whether inflation continues to run hot afterwards and for how long. Rates probably aren't heading down until both of those things improve. And even when that does happen, experts agree rates likely won't be dramatically lower, maybe in the low to mid sixes. That's the reality, and it's worth knowing. So, should you wait for lower rates? The general consensus is, if you can afford to buy and you find a home you like, it's still worth it, because no one knows for sure when rates will start to come back down. And how long do you really want to put your life on hold? And wages are outpacing home prices. You've probably heard that inflation is making everything more expensive, and there's no shortage of headlines about the cost of living outpacing paychecks. It's a legitimate concern, and maybe you're feeling the pinch yourself. But here's what doesn't make the headlines. It's not all bad news. Data from the Federal Reserve Bank of Atlanta and Redfin shows wages have actually been growing faster than home prices. Recently, wages have been increasing at around 4% year over year, and home price growth is closer to 2% year over year. As a buyer, you want your income to rise faster than prices, because that helps make your purchases more manageable financially, and it quietly chips away at the affordability challenge over time. That's exactly what we're seeing lately, and every little bit of help is going to help. A big reason wages have been gaining ground on home prices have actually stayed pretty steady. Check out the next graph. It shows home price data from the National Association of Realtors over the past 4 years. Notice anything? There's been no dramatic run-up and no crash either, just relative stability and slow growth. Part of what's keeping prices this stable is that buyers finally have more choices. That means less competition, more negotiating power, and more time to find the home that actually fits your life, not just the one you had to grab before someone else did. And that gives you a chance to hopefully find something that works for your budget, even with today's rates. At the same time, you're not losing ground price-wise while you take time to make a careful decision. Yes, rates have been volatile, and global instability is going to keep them from settling down anytime soon. There's no sugarcoating it. But the full picture of affordability is more nuanced than the headlines suggest. Want to run the real numbers for your situation? Let's talk, reach out, and let's set up a quick, no-pressure conversation to chat about this. That is the Real-Time Real Estate segment, brought to you by rsrmoney.com, rsrmoney.com. So it looks like I don't have enough time to do another segment for you, but I can give away some stuff. So we did roll out a new tool today that I want you to be aware of. rsrlinks.com/home report. rsrlinks.com/home report. Now, you can get a home report on your property or the property that you're looking at. So you can get information on any property you really want to know, do some deep dive into. And we've got all that information right there for you. rsrlinks.com/home report. Looking to buy a house? rsrlinks.com/HBG. rsrlinks.com/HBG. And if you're looking to sell, rsrlinks.com/HSG. Those are our home buyer and home sellers guides. Got both of them right there for you for free. And if you're a homeowner in the state of California, now I speak of California, but most every state has the same situation. Do you have a trust? You really should. rsrlinks.com/estate. rsrlinks.com/estate. Now, in this segment, in that video that I share there, rsrlinks.com/estate, we're going to introduce you to some folks that can help you with your estate planning. That would be if you have a house, if you have kids. Do you want the state to take control of those things, the kids or the house? Well, you don't have to. If you have your affairs in order, because you never know what tomorrow will bring. It's not promised. If you heard over the weekend or last week, 41 years old, Kyle Busch. Can you imagine that? Little kids and family. So just be careful. rsrlinks.com/estate. And as always, we ask, set that first radio preset button to come back here and join Ron Siegel Radio, where we only speak about items affecting your house and your bank account. Thanks to all of our sponsors. Big thanks to Josh and Sean who are engineering us today. And of course, a special thanks to you for spending a little bit of your day with us. That's all for Ron Siegel Radio. Again, if you have any questions or to meet any of our guests, call me anytime, 800-306-1990, 800-306-1990 or ronsiegelradio.com. And remember, make a lot of money so you can help a lot of people and have a lot of fun. Have a great day. We'll talk to you next time on Ron Siegel Radio.